Merci, Monsieur le Président. Vendredi, le gouvernement a choisi de fermer le débat sur le projet de loi 17 et d'envoyer leurs députés à la maison tôt pour la fin de semaine. Il paraît que l'avocat et l'actuaire du gouvernement étaient même ici, venus d'Halifax, et parce que le premier ministre voulait aller en comité. Pourtant, le même premier ministre et son équipe ont voté contre envoyer le projet de loi en comité de modification des lois plus tôt dans la semaine. Le premier ministre, Monsieur le Président, veut faire son show de boucan. Il veut choisir les faits qui seront exposés. Sa décision est déjà faite. Donc, si le premier ministre est sérieux et veut qu'on va en comité avec ce projet de loi, est-ce que le premier ministre permettra à tous les partis d'inviter des témoins au comité afin que nous puissions entendre tous les points de vue?
Government House Leader.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the question. And I find it interesting, considering how we've gone through this process on Bill 17, to consistently hear the opposition talk about everything but the bill. They've made it a point to do personal attacks. They've made it a point to talk about everything around it, but they haven't talked about the bill itself. And sure, they're using the tools that they have available to them. They're rehashing, doing amendments, doing things over and over again. But, Mr. Speaker, the reality is this. We have offered them on Friday. I stood up in this House and offered to be able to say, hey, let's go to committee. If we have unanimous consent, let's move to committee. We'll move to committee, and because it's often said by members of the opposition that that's where we get our best work done, Mr. Speaker. And then when I hear the comments from the leader of the Green Party saying, well, committee's a waste of time. This is an affront to democracy. How can he talk about an affront to democracy and being a waste of time when we're offering to try to move this thing into a direction that it needs to take, Mr. Speaker?
Time. The Deputy to Kent North.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I think I was very clear and I talked on the bill. The bill is garbage. Throw it out. We all know the Premier doesn't like the process he can't control. The Premier wants us to go to committee so he could spew his one-sided propaganda. He doesn't want us to hear that CAT, pension proposed plan, is a win-win for both pensioners and taxpayers. This should be done at the table. But if he wants to go to committee, we want to hear both sides. The Premier cannot cherry-pick the facts on this one. Choosing the facts he wants to be thrown out, choosing the facts he wants people to hear. So, one last time, if the Premier wants to go to committee, will the Premier allow all parties to invite witnesses to committee so that we can hear all sides?
Yeah. Government House Leader.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And again, this is an opportunity to do a little bit of posturing here in the House. We know that we have a full gallery, so this is all about trying to score political points, Mr. Speaker. It's not about whether or not there's going to be any benefit to doing a particular thing. It's all about the performance, Mr. Speaker, and that is clear. When I look at the fact that we brought this piece of legislation in as an effort to try to move along a process so that we can get a fix to pensions, that was the intent here, Mr. Speaker. They have their tools. Fair ball. They're allowed to use them, and I do not begrudge them one little bit. But they cannot escape from the fact, Mr. Speaker, that when it's brought into committee, they have an opportunity to ask questions. We have an opportunity to be able to answer them, Mr. Speaker. And at the last time I checked, we're the ones who have a majority, Mr. Speaker, and we have a responsibility as government to be able to manage things through this House, for the best interests of New Brunswickers. So at the end of the day, this is all about us being able to move business through the House.
Thank you.